think they did like a gold bronze look for that one, which is pretty cool. We'll probably try that as well. Don't need to paint. Let's try making this one golden, see how that looks. Maybe a little bit more orange. And I think that looks pretty nice. Go ahead and do this thing. So you can see I'm really just jumping around and putting some color everywhere and some materials. Eventually everything will just kind of fall in place and be done. And this one's quite small, so I don't necessarily want a lot of, I do have all the detail. Just do the strap one, duplicate it. So we only need one. Get rid of the detail bump. We do have that ladder right there. So let's do it like that. Try the canvas one for this one. So let's do something like that, and then I make it a little bit smaller here. This one I want a lot of height. Maybe like that. Definitely need more contrast. Down the height a little bit. Go ahead and adjust the base color. It should be like kind of orangey. I think we can match this to what we have over here. Would be pretty nice. So we're adjusting the wrong one. And like that. So I noticed that we messed up the glasses a little bit, so we're gonna go ahead and fix that. Just gonna have a quick look what's messing up. I think we can just do the height here. Put the height on replace and that should fix it. So, okay, that's working. We're also gonna add a little bit of dust to the glasses to make them look interesting, and some scratches and whatever. You can see a little bit of dust here. I am going to over-exaggerate this a bit because I think it looks nice. First, let's just make a layer. And the dust needs to be opaque and not opaque. And that's going to give us some nice breakup. Let's go ahead and call this dust. We're gonna make a group. So we can have one dust group here. This is going to be like dust small dots. And this one can be like a big dust. Dust, big edges. So what I want to do is have some dust accumulate around here. It's going to look pretty cool. And then here it's going to be transparent. Just gonna take a look at what we can do for the smart masks. This one looks pretty good. Definitely not the result that I wanted, but this also looks pretty interesting. So you probably need to go ahead and invert this. That's more the effect that I was looking for. Don't like how it's here though, but we're gonna go ahead and mess with parameters. So definitely keep it on the AO. Maybe turn that down. I think that's a pretty cool start. Before we commit to this, I'm gonna take a look what else we can do. I'm just gonna copy paste this. I'm gonna see if we can find one that maybe looks better. Compare. I think this one looks really nice. This is what I had in my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one. Let's go ahead and make the dust a little bit less white. Maybe we can try like a greenish. I think that works pretty well with the mask. Tone down though a little bit. You can see how that looks a lot more interesting already. Then we're gonna do the roughness. I'm gonna make this super rough. Can even try adding a little bit of height. It's probably gonna become too noisy. I think just having a little bit works. So I'm gonna do a paint. Now I just want to take away a little bit here, because it's a bit excessive. Okay, I'm gonna do it with the dirt one, because it's a very organic looking brush, which is good. Now on top of this, I'm gonna do one fill. We're just gonna be filling this up with a cloud and then put that to multiply to take away. Just size a little bit. Take away a little bit, make it look a lot more detailed. You can see how adding this dust just really pushes the look of it. Now it looks way more interesting. I also want to do some little dust dots. Just gonna duplicate this one. Just call this dust small dots. I'm gonna rename this to dust base. I think it's a little bit more clear. So for this one, we don't need a smart mask. We can just do a fill. And we can do like a dirt too. Now we're gonna have some nice little dust spots. Should be a little bit more small though. Let's load the balance a bit. Maybe up that. And try this one. Now we just get some nice little details. Do you think the dust is a little bit too strong? Just gonna go all the way at the top, do a fill and put this to multiply. So now we can control the strength of the look. I think for this one I'm gonna take away the height. Maybe we can lower the balance a little bit. And the contrast. I think like that's pretty good. Try to make this a little bit less rough. And you don't need to keep like the most realistic values, like less, it should be very transparent. I think this looks quite boring. So if we do like a little bit more like that, it has some color and looks more interesting. You can even try adding some color to see if that can look nice. Maybe a little bit of a blue tone, very subtle. Look at green. Go with that and then just mess with the opacity a bit. Again, this is all gonna be heavily tweaked in Marmoset because the actual shade is gonna be over there. But it's good to kind of get like an idea of what we're aiming for in Paint, and then we can just replicate that Marmoset. Also gonna go ahead and add some scratches. So we're gonna do one on top. Just gonna fill this up with a scratch generator. I think this one's pretty good. Up contrast. Let's try this one. So this one's working better. I'm trying to look for something that looks quite natural, so now we have like a few big scratches in and just a few small ones here, giving it some nice breakup, so that's good. So on a scratch it should be a little bit rougher. Note that I'm not doing this with your HSL. It will be a little bit better if you do it that way. Just save on time. I'm just gonna quickly put it like this. And one thing that's important, that we try to keep this subtle. I think the height is too much. Try adding like a little bit. Also a little bit of a color. You can see that looks pretty nice. Put this in a different folder. So you can see, just adding like a little bit of wear and tear is gonna make it look so much more interesting. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put some materials on there. That one's gonna be reusing the metal. I think it's this one. We can just quickly click on the layer to check. That's correct. Just go ahead and add that. So we definitely need to adjust that mask a bit. Just gonna add some paint back here. Do still want to keep a little bit of that metal show through, so it makes it look very interesting. Do want to be careful, like when you mask this out, that it doesn't become like a blurry mess. Do want this to pop out pretty strong. Like for example, if I do this just looks kinda ugly here. So the contrast should be pretty high. Now that we're here anyway, let's do a plastic material. Just gonna take this one and copy it and then paste. So you can see that we have lots of color variation. Try to pick like a nice in-between color. Checking those. So if we look at this material, everything seems to be very blurry. So I'm just gonna adjust this mask. Just gonna add the blur to quickly blur the colors out. Same here. Details. I think maybe this one actually works already. If we add a blur, let's take a look. Yeah, I think that works pretty cool. So I think for this one we're really gonna push that down, the lightness. Maybe it's a little bit too blurry. Let's go ahead and try a different one. Actually, now let's stick with this one. I do like how it looks. can paint like a little bit on top to get it close to the reference. So this roughness, same story, I want to just blur this out. Still not exactly sure about this one. Do you think we need to adjust it a little bit? I'm just kind of looking at this graininess here. So maybe something more like that. Let's try bumping down the height. A little bit less strong in the color. I think that looks pretty nice. Still lacking some of that finer detail. So one thing that we can actually do is just duplicate the details. We can use multiple detail layers. Let's go ahead and try the fractal sun. I think it will be a pretty good one. And let's go ahead and tile this away more. It's not the one that we should be using, it's not working. Maybe Dirt 4. I think this one's the one that we should be using. Then to break that pattern up, you can just multiply something on top. Now you can see this starting to look less repetitive. Now we kind of get some area with some noise and then another one without. We can also name these details noise, just like what we do with the masks. Try to keep it organized. That's looking pretty nice. Maybe we can try bring some saturation in here. So one thing that's really making this material look interesting is like the darkness away from the edges. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're just gonna do a HSL. Should be under adjustment. Then just push that down. So now I want to look for a generator that's like putting stuff on the edge, and then we're just gonna invert that. This one we don't even need to invert. I think this one's gonna be a better one, surface 1. You can see this one's super tight. But we can give this one a try and adjust it. Yep, that's not the one. Let's try this one. I do think the other one was better. Let's go ahead and just gonna make one from scratch. So we can do a generator, the mask builder, mask editor. So again, it should be pretty blurry. Let's invert that. And the curvature is important. I think that's a pretty good base. One problem is looking very boring and we have a lot of stuff going on here. Let's try to mess with the ambient occlusion maybe. So we can try to just mask that out with the new generator. This time the only thing that we want is this edge right here. See, that's quite easy to get. Then we just cycle through the blending modes until we find one that takes it away. So you can see here now it's being taken away. That's looking more like what we want. Of course we can still kind of mess with it. Now to make the shape a little bit more interesting, also let's try to grow it out a little bit. Oh, let's do that. Now to make this look a little bit less perfect, we can try a blur slope. Just like how you can add a little bit of shape to whatever you're doing. So you can see how we're kind of warping that mask to look more organic. You can mess with the parameters here. Now on top of that we can just do another blur to blur everything out again a bit. Then just bring the levels up and down a bit to play with it. Let's take a look what we have. So that's quite okay as a base. We need a little bit less contrast. Then we need to have look a little bit more organic on the edges. Let's try putting in some textures. not really doing anything. You can see it happen here. It's just adding. Okay, just kind of look through the different blending modes. You can now see how this is becoming a little bit more interesting looking. Maybe something like that. I think this is definitely too strong. So we can just tone this down a little bit. Then we can also go on top, do a paint. Actually, I'm not going to do this on top. I'm going to do this right above all the mask editors. This way the blur slope and the blur levels is still going to affect it. It's just going to ensure that it's like nice and a bit blurry. Just going to kind of take away and add to make that shape look a little bit more interesting. And I also imagine this to be a little bit more rough. So we can just go here, do a new filter, HSL. The roughness, again, always keep consistency. First HSL is color, and then the second one's gonna be the roughness. Put the base value down. I think that's looking pretty nice. I think it's too rough though. So yeah, it's adding too much. If you take a look, we have like these directional details as well. I'm going to try to add those. Just duplicate that details layer again. So all we need is one with like stripes. And let's have a look. It's a directional. This one. This is already giving me a headache. Put this to like 5. Rotate this the right way and put this to UV. Maybe something like that. That's looking pretty good. Now we just need to adjust the effects. This one I don't actually want the color to change. just add a little bit of roughness. And a little bit of height. Actually, let's put a little bit of color. Try to make this a little bit more white. A little bit of blur. It's just gonna make it look a little bit less sharp. You can see now it looks quite noisy. So we need to blur that out a bit. Then we need to take away some of that. One reason why I'm not just painting this in can be a little bit faster, but if we do it this way, it's easy to reuse this material and to make adjustments. So that's like a big advantage of trying to keep everything as procedural as you can. Let's also go ahead and finally place this right. And place this under here. See the color changed, it's no big problem, we can just adjust it a little bit here. I think it's only this piece. I think the color is a little bit too different from the mask. You can just go to adjustment. Try to match that color a little bit more careful. Something like that. Then maybe we can tone this down a little bit. Also make this look a little bit more interesting. Something like that. Just again, trying to blend that in now. Go ahead and take this material and apply it to the thingies over here. I think it should be this one perhaps. Copy. And we're also going to paste that over here afterwards. See, it's a little bit hectic jumping around all the layer sets. I think it's quite a nice way to work. So we need to be a little bit more careful with the height here. Because I don't like how that looks here. Definitely not looking right. Let's try adding a little bit of height. First let's adjust color a bit. Let's try something more saturated. Just to make it stand out more from the black here. That looks pretty good. Maybe I actually like the gold on some of those. Not sure. Maybe I'll try keeping them on those. Have a look. I think that looks pretty interesting, but it's a bit too strong, the effect for me. So I'm just gonna go like this, like a gray, and I'm gonna fill it. So we can get like an in-between of the two materials. I can see that looks pretty cool. Let's try that for those as well. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Let's go ahead and do that. This just so the metal pieces look a little bit different from each other. Because this one's like right there and this one's pretty close. This can make it look a little bit more coherent with these. So let's try to add a little bit of height to this. I'm just gonna do a new fill layer. Take just that one. Let's call this height. Bump. Plate. So now we can just give a little bit of extra height to this. Then we can get rid of that ugly like stepping. We just blur this out a little bit. Let's go filter and blur. So I think we should place this, we can actually set this to pass through again. And that one should be on replace. See, it's getting rid of all that nice detail that we had in the bake. Can try to see if we can get it to work. We just do like that. Then we take this away. Maybe this can work. Then we can just push this in a bit. Or out. I think it works if we do like a little bit. I think that's okay. Get rid of the... got rid of them, it's good. Just a very subtle push. Go ahead and copy. Go to the top so we don't paste in another folder. First, let's get rid of that bump plate. That's not there anymore, that's good. Not sure why though. Actually, we can just select it. And let's take this ring as well. I think this looks nothing like the reference, but that's because there's a lot of rust. So let's just go ahead and add that. So adding rust is pretty easy. Type rust. So this one I usually start off with. Gives pretty nice results most of the time. As you can see, everything looks messed up, but we just gotta adjust this. I'm not really liking this one. It's not working. Just go ahead and put this one here. Just wait to saturate it. Let's try to go for like more of a brown. So something like that. That's not looking too bad. So I want this to be more saturated, the metal itself. Just gonna do the adjustment here. The line is down a bit. More red. We can now start take away a little bit of that rust, add a fill, go like clouds. Actually, let's go with a grunge. It's a little bit less soft. We'll just do a multiply. Then lastly, I just want to control the overall strength. So let's do a fill. Just put that to multiply. You can just tone that down a little bit. So it just makes it a little bit less intense. I think that looks great. I think we pretty much covered everything. No, we still have a few more things. So a very shiny plastic. So we need to adjust this a little bit. Guess I forgot to sculpt that in the high. Should be a little thingy there. But we're gonna ignore that because we're way too far to actually change that now. It's kinda a shame that we don't have that. This is gonna be a new material, shiny plastic. I need to nest it. I think we're selecting a few things that we should not be. Tolerance way down. So you can see sometimes you just select more because the colors are too close to each other. So we can just start off with a black mask. Then we can select everything, but notice that we have this little orange thingy that we don't want. Then on top of this we can do a color selection, pick the color. Then mess with the blending mode to get something that just takes away. So you can see now just selecting the thing that we want. It's going to be a very simple material. Very shiny, very black. Not a lot of detail. Gonna keep the same on or something like this and make this all way less strong. Just gonna take that whole variation map and tone it way down. Go ahead and adjust the roughness. Be a little bit darker. Don't want this to be looking a whole lot darker than the ear caps, so do want to be careful of that. Maybe something like that. actually very simple material. Let's add one more breakup for the roughness. Just to add a little bit of an interesting look to it. Just gonna do a HSL. Make this way lighter. Let's go with like a grunge. Just a little bit spots. We don't need to worry about having it look too broken up, because we still need to add some new layers on top of everything. Some environmental layers like dust. Just gonna add some of this as well. I just wanna have a little bit of this already here. So something like that. So the straps definitely are way too rough right now. Let's go ahead and fix that. Like this should almost be white. Not sure what happened. Let's look. I think it's in the detail one. So yeah, looks way down. And the base value should be way low as well. Get rid of one of those. That looks more appropriate. Straps. And I can see we have a nice breakup in the roughness. So let's take a quick break from doing material based stuff. Still need to do some stuff here and this one. Let's do some environmental effect. One thing that I really like in this reference, how we have this rusted clip, how the rust is spreading on the strap. So I'm gonna try to replicate that effect of this one. Also this one. So let's go to the top. I think we're on a mask. So on this one, let's do a fill layer and group this. I'm gonna call this environmental. So effects. Actually, let's do a more general effects first. I'm gonna do this in the helmet because we're gonna duplicate these two other ones. Actually, it's okay. Let's do it on the mask. So pretty much always add some environmental effects. The first one I always start off with some blood. I don't want this to be looking very wet. I want this to be more of like a dried blood. Something like that. For blood you can kinda add some metallic if you'd like. Blood's kinda like a weird material. start off with like a moisture. See, this already looks quite interesting. Lower the balance. Maybe up the contrast a little bit. That looks pretty good. So one thing, if we take a look at here, I would like to extract like exclude those little ladder details. So we can do that by going to ladder, then top ladder. Let's go to our details. So you can see our details here. And now we can do add an anchor point. We can call this one ladder details. What that's gonna do, it's gonna take everything that's in the mask. So it's just gonna store this in the anchor point. This can be quite confusing when you're starting out. Like, I didn't use this for the longest time, but it's definitely super useful to actually use. Then we can go to anchor points. We can just take that mask and put it here. So now we can just start taking that away. That should be lighten, I think. Okay, so sub. Now you can see that we take the blood away from the ladder details, which makes it look way more interesting. One thing I don't like is that it's doing it everywhere. Like even here where we don't have anything. So that's a problem. So one way we can fix that is to go back to the ladder. Let's go to the details. I'm just gonna go add color selection. And we're just gonna select that. Make sure that's underneath the ladder point, the anchor point. Don't think we have anything else that we should select. Now we can just go through the different modes till we get something that takes everything away except for the actual ladder. So now you can see what happens when we disable and enable that. So now it's only gonna apply that mask to where we actually have the ladder, which is exactly what we want. And double checking that I'm not taking anything away I shouldn't. So that's all looking correct. And we can do this for everything. We can go to the straps. Let's take a look here. And go to details. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Let's do a color selection. Just gonna select what we want. It's a little bit annoying that we then get line here. I think we might be able to blur that line out. No, we can't. Try upping the tolerance. So I'm just gonna up the tolerance. Let's do a multiply. Now for anything that's being selected that we don't want, we can do a paint. deselect those things. Do the UV one. This one we can do object. This can be pretty tedious, but it's definitely worth the effect that we're gonna add, in my opinion. Let's take a look how that's looking. That all looks correct. So now we have this nice mask. I'm gonna add an anchor point. Let's call this straps details. So you can guess what we're gonna do. We're gonna go all the way to top and do one more fill. Put the straps in here. I'm not sure if that actually works because that's gonna break that one, perhaps. Just take a quick look. Actually, that works perfectly like I want. Now you can see we just get some blood here. This looks quite strange for this one because the effect is too strong. So we can just tone this down to just get a little bit of the cavities away. See that we now get some really nice fine control of the look of our textures. Still too much, probably go with like 10. That looks pretty nice to me. So let's call this blood. This one's going to be the base mask. So we need to group this one more time. Let's call this blood subtract mask. This one, let's add a white mask. Then we can just start taking away. The reason why I do it with like a new group. Let's say if we do it here, we do a paint on top. We can take away, which works fine. But now if we try to add, see it's gonna add everything. Which I think we can actually fix now that I think about it, maybe. Nah, I don't think you can fix it with the blending mode. So yeah. See, like the idea. Now we lose a lot of control, like we can only subtract. Then later if we say, oh, I want to add a little bit of that back. Now we totally killed everything that we worked so hard on. Now if we do this here, we can always subtract. If we later say, hey, I want to add a little bit back, we can do it and still gonna have that nice mask that we had here. Just gonna add a white mask. Let's start taking away. This is also like the part where I finally actually start to do some hand painted stuff. My text workflow is pretty heavily reliant on procedural stuff. And then when I get to like environment effects, that's when I really come in and start to refine things by hand. And also in the stage that we're gonna do after this, it's gonna be adding like wear and tear by hand to really push it. I think that's looking better. Still have a lot to cover. We can go back to this one. So there's like nothing over there. Let's go ahead and do a fill. Let's go to clouds. Again, clouds always pretty nice ones, just a subtle one. Multiply. We can take everything down a notch. Set the contrast and maybe up the size. Very important that we put this on triplanar. Also check the moisture. So this should also be on triplanar. Because when blood splattered on a surface, it's going to just splatter on everything. You can see just by adding like small stuff like this, we also ruined the strap over here. Take a look. So details. Redo that. That's like a great example. Once you take something away, you cannot really add it back again, which is super annoying. Just mess a little bit with the tolerance. I think that actually looks quite good. I think we can just go like this. So we now go to our environmental effects. Work a little bit on those clouds. So now you can see we can make it a little bit more subtle. Then usually all the way on the top I'd add another white mask. And do like a fill. It's just going to control the intensity of the effect. So it's nice to have that all the way on the top. You can see you cannot really notice that it's there. That's what you want to do with all the environment effects. You want this to all be very subtle. But if we turn this off and on, you can see it just really pushes the material to look more realistic and interesting. Still have a little bit too much going on there. So I don't like how that's looking on like the rubber and the metal. So I'm just gonna get rid of those parts. Notice how I'm not doing it with the color select. Because the idea is that I leave some spots on accident. And if I cannot see it, but it's there, it's just gonna make it look a little bit more realistic and just some subtle hints at it. For example, right here. See, we cannot see it, but it's there. It's just gonna make it look more realistic because there's some subtle stuff going on. So for now, let's go back to the main part. Let's fix the straps. Just gonna copy. So we have this in the wrong map. Not sure if we actually needed this one anywhere. Oh yeah, it's that one. Go ahead and move that out. So let's do that one first. Let's see why it's looking like that. I think we need to refill this with a black mask. Then color. And select. Some details. That's because we want to have them work with the blood. So here we need to repick the colors. So do that part. And let's get rid of our old strap one. So we don't need that anymore. I think it might be easy if we do a duplicate. But let's see if we can find out why this is not working. So again, I think it has something to do with the detail. That's replacing the whole mask, I think. Okay, so that works fine. We have a problem with the sides, I think. That's working fine, but then when we add the center, that's just the mask, I think. Yeah. Go ahead, fix that. Okay, most of the time it's easier to just work on the UVs directly, opposed to the 3D view. Let's have a look. Still looking a little bit strange. Just this one though. I think it might have to do with another folder. It's only happening with center. We've got to blur it. Let's go ahead and blur. Also want to shrink this a little bit. Just working with multiple blurs and levels to do that. See now that we can shrink it really well. We need more contrast. Some something like that looks right there. That looks fine. A few little areas like this which is messing up. Maybe it's better if we don't shrink it. Let's just go back to that. Now for the sides, just for the one on top, I'm gonna do a new HSL. Do adjustment, HSL. Now it's still changing both, so we're gonna do color mask. Just select that one only. For this one I just want a little bit more of a green saturated look. Look for green. Then mess with the settings. It's more like a yellow actually. Maybe something like that. And then we can put this down. I think the whole thing can be more green. The set time we can just select both. Let's try to name this. So this one should actually be all the way on top, because it needs to affect the center and the sides. Let's make this one more green. I feel like it needs some breakup, so I'm gonna fill this. Let's just do a cloud. Then multiply. See difference? Now it looks more like the reference. Let's mess more with the values. We don't need to match the reference exactly, just a guide. I think the sides work, but the middle still needs work. Just gonna go to center adjustment, put a HSL. Maybe actually let's try color correct. one's working quite well. Again, we just need to do the center mask. Again, we're gonna break this up. So the fill and cloud. Just gonna take away a little bit. That's too much saturation. Still not really liking the colors. Just gonna put one HSL on top. Some people don't recommend to use this many effects because it's gonna slow down painter. But for me, I prefer to just have it nice and easy to edit, because now I can dig in the color correct again. I can just quickly do HSL and exactly edit what I like. It's kind of up to you to choose what kind of workflow you want to follow. I think that looks nice. I think we need a little bit more detail, color detail. Details. Let's do a second one. Let's do a color selection top. So I only want to adjust that one. Just cycle through until you get it right. We don't need to adjust the roughness twice. The height is too intense. Just get rid of the height altogether. I think that works better. And again, you can see that the adjustments that we did on top, they make it look very cloudy. So what we can do is we take this mask, rename the strap details to strap details helmet strap. Center. So then we can group those together, set them to pass through. Let's add the anchor point. and then invert. It's just keeping the details a little bit nicer, so that's good. Also want this to be looking a little bit more rough, because this one's more worn than the others. We can go to side. Go to details. Just duplicate that one. Let's go like spot. Maybe not this one. Maybe cells. Do the color. And multiply. Let's bump up that height. Something like that. So now it just looks a little bit more rough and worn, which is good. So I think this is a little bit too light. Let's put down the lightness. Color correct. The color correct all the way on top is gonna be like our final adjustments. Someone try to get a little bit more contrast maybe. I think that does help. Let's tone that down a bit. Maybe like that. Let's go ahead and add like some orange stuff to this. sure how to call this. It's called black piece. So again, we're getting some undesired results. So we can try putting a tolerance down. Let's do some white thingies in here. So I'm just gonna take the HSL again. Bump up the lightness. The mask. We need to down that tolerance. Let's go ahead and do a black mask here. Then just select this one so we're sure that it's not changing anything else. Let's call this white bits. Then we need to break it up. Go ahead with cells again. Just put it way down. Try a different one. So something like that. And let's put the lightness up a bit. Maybe something like that. Put this to multiply. So let's go ahead and adjust the color of the stitches because they're way too intense right now. So the ladder, then top ladder, stitches. Maybe something like that. Go with this. I think we have one more material to fill out, which is going to be this one. So let's go ahead to mask. And let's make a material for this one. Take the straps, stay center and copy. Go ahead and close all this, fold this down. So I get a little bit more of an organized layer stack. Not sure why it's not copy pasting. I'm just gonna paste layers. There it is. white mask. Don't have any stitches. Go ahead and tell this a little bit more, maybe 30. It's looking good. Let's call this rope side. Not sure how to call this thing. And let's give the mask. And this one needs a bit more saturation. Let's go here, just up the saturation, and a little bit more of an orange tint. Let's get some white spots in here, so we can go to variations. And lighten. Just bump this way up. And let's adjust this mask. Then we need to take away a little bit, so we can do another fill. And then go for like clouds and multiply this on top. So now we get some white spots. Let's do the same for the saturation. I'm just gonna delete that one. Duplicate the lighten and call this saturated spots. Then we just go ahead and adjust the rotation so they're in a different place. And let's just make these super saturated. And maybe these can be a little bit more as well. So we can put up the balance and lower the strength of the effect. Then the darken. I think this effect can be stronger. It looks a little bit odd. Let's put this to UV. I think we have a little bit too much white spots, too many. So let's put the balance down. Yeah, something like that looks pretty good. I do think this one looks better than that one, so we can just take the material, rope side. Let's go ahead and copy. Let's go to helmet. Let's collapse this all as well. paste. I think this one. So I'm just gonna copy the mask and paste the mask. So we don't need this one anymore. You gotta be careful that I don't put it inside. Should be out. Then we can delete the old one. Let's rename this again to rope. See, that one looks just a little bit nicer and more detailed. Let's go ahead to the HSL. Put that down. This one should have a little bit of a greenish hue. Something like that. So I think we're at a pretty good point right now. I'm gonna go ahead and save and export textures, and we're gonna do some look depth in Marmoset. So let's go ahead and do an export. It's still all looking okay. So now Marmoset, let's take a quick look. Let's make sure the normal direction is okay. So it needs to be flipped. So everything's flipped, so that's okay. I'm gonna turn off ray tracing for now. This is just a little bit fast to edit. Actually, let's keep it on for now. Let's go ahead into the glass. Put that one in. Let's try to get the glass to look good. Just gonna disable the albedo so we get more control here. So now we need to put the albedo here. Put the base color in and then the alpha channel. So disable roughness. Gonna get rid of all those maps. Actually, we need the roughness. Make a duplicate of this one so we can mess with that. Let's do a quick render to again check how this is looking. So we still have it set to PSD, so we should change that. So let's go ahead and do render. Just gonna change this to JPEG. Let's go ahead and also use the ray tracing. So I'd like to try to find a mix between the two of these. Let's start off with this one and then get the roughness. See, it's not doing too much. So I can already get the look that I'm going. So stuff like this are little tricks that you can use to make the render look a little bit more polished and nice. So we can do something similar to make the ladder stand out better. We can go to Maya. This is going to be a little bit more challenging. We take the helmet, then we call this ladder maybe sides. Then what we need to do is let's start with the UV editor. UV shell. Just gonna select everything that's ladder. It's pretty much gonna be a whole lot. I think that's almost all. Got an invert. So let's have a look. Don't want to delete that. Turn off soft select. So now that we have everything selected that's not ladder,